Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live on what is day 100. Wow, I can't believe I've done 100 of these in a row. Wow, absolutely amazes myself. What do you think of that, Casey? Um, wow, yeah, I wonder what would happen on this day. So anyway, so today started off early. I really didn't sleep last night. It was a couple hours here, a couple hours there. Tried reading, that didn't work. Tried a couple hours sleep again, didn't work. Finally got up around 7:30. Dog tired, but had a full day planned, so just kind of shook it off. Had my keto coffee, showered, got dressed, all that good stuff. Got some work done, and then it was out the door and off to. Oh, excuse me. Where did I go? The ghost town, Goldfield Ghost Town. It's been a long day. It was a very balmy 86 degrees out there today, and had my Stetson on to protect the eyes and the face from the sun. It was all good. So what I did is that I started on one side and walked straight up across and came back down the other side. I didn't do any purchasing anywhere along the way because I just wanted to see what was there, because I knew there's a lot of shops there. There was a mine, you could go on a mine tour, and I was sort of like, yeah, no, I don't feel like going into a mine, especially when I sat at lunch, because I was in the saloon. For some reason, they had all these cowboy boots hanging from the roof. Great atmosphere in the whole place. Of course, I turn up, there's 3 school buses parked out front, and I'm like, great, school kids, school trip, school kids. Never saw one, unless they were with parents. Basically didn't see the school kids. I have no idea where they were when I turned up. But I went for this walk. I came across this amazing shop. It was just, I opened the door and it was like, oh. And I walked in. It was the, hang on, I have the book here. It was the Siphon Drawer Apothecary. Everything organic. Here's the front of our business card. Here's the other side. Everything in the store was organic, and it was handmade on property. They had a workshop out the back that you could kind of peek into a little bit. And their tagline is clean, mystical skincare from the Superstition Mountains. But I'll tell you what, the Superstition Mountains looked really cool as I was approaching them. They looked amazing, quite fascinating, and you kind of felt drawn to them. Every time everywhere I walked, I looked to stop to see if I could see the mountains and everything. They were just, I don't know. It was just something that just pulled you into them. But they were really, really cool. Yeah, I've still got to learn a lot about the like the Lost Dutchman mine and that sort of thing. So I got this really cool book, The Sterling Legend, The Facts Behind the Lost Dutchman Mine. And so there's all this thing in here about his last words and everything. And it's got this really cool map in here, which I'm going to have a look at and read up about it and everything else. And just see what the draw is to all of this. But this, what was her name? Christy was the girl there who made all of this stuff. And so I ended up going back because I wanted to walk around first, and then decide if I wanted to go back and get anything. I did do some Christmas shopping though. Got some of that out of the way, so I was kind of excited. I was really excited about that. They just had cool. They just had such cool stuff up there. But beside the book, I also got, so in these little bags. You got to get the bags yourself. This one, this is a cake of soap, handmade, and this is eucalyptus and peppermint energize. Oh, I wish you guys we had smell-o-vision. This smells so good. That's why I got it. The problem that they have though is that some of the kids go in there and kind of think they're like the fudge store, but the fudge store's across the road in the mercantile. They had sugar-free truffles, but there was milk chocolate, so I said no. And I got this one because this one's called Chocolate Rose. Doesn't that look like a yummy bar of fudge that you could eat? And oh man, this has got cacao in it, and rose hip and rose, and it just smells really, really good. And the cool part is that you put the soaps into the bags, and then when you go to check out, she'll put the stickers on them along with all the ingredients. So, for example, the chocolate rose has handcrafted with organic coconut oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, olive oil, jojoba oil, coconut milk, rose hips, cacao, rose kaolin clay, paprika, rose petals, essential oils of ylang ylang, geranium, and cinnamon. Yum! Oh, like I said, I wish I had smell-o-vision. This one here was my absolute, oh, that's my little sales thing. This one was my absolute favorite. It was their winter soap. Oh, look at this. Doesn't it look good enough to eat? You probably could. Let's see, this one's got, what's this one got? It's got peppermint in it. But it just smells so good. But it also has, let's see, coconut oil, shea butter, coconut milk, olive oil, organic peppermint essential oil, organic cocoa butter, kaolin clay, alkanet root powder. But I'll tell you this, it smells amazing. And they also even have a soap club. So you can sign up for 1 month, 4 months, 6 months, or 12 months. And 12 months is like $147 for the year. A month is like $16 or $14, one of the two, can't remember. And there's different ones in between. And they will send you the soap of the month, and you don't get the small portion like this. You get the big bar, and so you get the big bar, and as part of the thing, and a surprise gift. So I thought that was a really cool way to promote. And you can go online and you can order the stuff as well, because the only place that they are is in the ghost town. But yeah, the other thing they do is handcrafted, organic, non-toxic, clean, wild harvested. So I also got some other stuff too. So I got some rose water. When I was driving up there, my face was feeling really tight. And I thought, why is my skin feeling so tight? Then I remembered that after my shower, I got dressed and I basically raced out the door, and I totally forgot to put my moisturizer on. So when I got there, I thought, they had lots of testers out, and they had the testing spray for this one, and this one was about moisturizing and some other stuff. And so you just get the bottle and go, oh, and my skin's been getting this. It's had like about 4 applications now. But I would tell you this, just a couple of sprays on my face was enough to keep me going for the day. But of course I did have to get some when I went back to buy all this. And then I got natural deodorant. Rather than using chemical stuff, I got natural deodorant. And this one is, and really tiny, right? But it is sandalwood and clove. Oh, yum. And this one doesn't have baking soda. So they had 2 lots of natural deodorants. They had the ones with baking soda and the ones without baking soda. And so I asked her about having to detox and all of that sort of stuff, and she was like, only it depends on your diet. If you had a very high fat, high sugar diet, then yes, you do need to detox. But if you're somebody who always takes care of your health and everything else, then you don't need to. And then they had this stuff called creosote Slav. It's probably all back to front, but this is just a little tester pot. But it's really good for helping with skin ailments. Looking at the pictures and stuff they had up there, and I've had this rash appeared on my foot, and I don't know, maybe I've got an allergic reaction to something, I don't know, but I'm going to try that on there and see how that works. So I'll keep you posted. So that was there. Then of course I got my book, and what else? I went Christmas shopping. So I can't show you that, because if the kids watch, then they'll know what they're getting for Christmas. So I can't show you what I bought until after Christmas. I better put that back in there so I don't forget it. And let's see. So it was just really cool just walking around all that. Went to the saloon for lunch, and the menu looked good. The menu came out like a newspaper, and the menu was on the back, and they had these news articles in there. And one of them was about this guy that was trapped for 13 days in the mine when it collapsed in the late 1800s, and how he was down this 120-foot deep shaft, and they found out he was actually at around the 100-foot mark. So trying to get him out of there, they ended up doing a parallel shaft to then cut across and come in. And they got him, and they thought that they were doing a recovery because they thought there's no way anybody can survive this. And then as they're starting to dig to get into there to recover this guy's body, they start hearing this tapping noise. And he's on the other side there with his little axe thing that they use, and he's tapping on the stones trying to, and that's basically how he communicated with them. But he ran out of water very early on and managed to survive and managed to survive 12 days without any water or food down there with him. And so it was quite interesting reading this while I was waiting for lunch to come. I thought that's a great way to keep people occupied because it now gives them something to discuss and talk about. And then they were talking about the new stagecoach that would take you from Mesa, which is where I'm staying, to Goldfield, which is where the ghost town is. And guess what? In the stagecoach, it's a comfortable 4-hour ride. And I'm like, it took me 33 minutes in a car. So, going back, thinking then and they were saying about how the roads were improved and all this. And I'm just sort of like, trying to comprehend the fact that I drove there in a motor vehicle in 33 minutes, but it takes a horse and it takes a couple of horses. Maybe, I don't know how many horses I had, like 2 to 4 horses, pulling a stagecoach 4 hours to go that short distance. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool to think how far we've come. This was because they did the last stagecoach run with the mail was done on November the 9th, 1898, and the post office closed 2 days later. It closed on November the 11th, and the last one was done on November the 9th. So that was kind of interesting reading this newspaper articles about this. So we had the comfy 4-hour stagecoach ride article about that and about how when the post office closed and all that. And then we had this story there about this guy trapped in the mines. And on the back, like I said, was the menu. And I was looking down the menu and they had steaks there. I thought, oh, that would seem really good. I was like, I really don't feel like a steak. And even though I'm on the keto thing, I decided I was going to have a burger. I don't know. I don't know what prompted me to do it. I just had this hankering that I had to have a burger. And so I asked for my burger to be done medium like I always do and got told, oh no, we only do medium well. I'm like, excuse me? I said, I want my medium. And she says, no, state law requires that we have to cook burgers to medium well. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so it came out, I totally forgot to ask them to let us wrap it. So it came out with the bun on it, and it was just way too, I took a bite with the bun on. I thought, give it a go. And but I still had my mushrooms on this. That was okay. I've got little bits of soap on here if you're wondering what I'm picking up. I just don't want to pick them up and try and eat them. And it came out, it was dry. It wasn't medium well. It was well done. It was over well done. It was really, really dry, and except for the mushrooms and the tomato and the lettuce on there and the cheese, it would have been really, really bad. But it was okay. It was okay. I mean, I ate it. I was hungry. I ate it. It was protein. But while I'm sitting there, I'm sitting by the window so I can look out over Superstition Mountain, and this group of people on horseback turned up and all got off, tied their horses up to the hitching posts and that, and then swaggered on up, and they had their spurs on their boots and their Stetsons on, and they went and sat out on the patio there and had their lunch. And then later on, when I was leaving, like about 2 or 3 hours later, they were going along one of the trails that ran along the side of the road. So I was able to see them all riding along. That was kind of cool too. But yeah, I was thinking about doing the mine tour until I read that article about the guy being trapped in the mine. I was like, yeah, no way. I know they've probably had it shored up and everything else for years, and it's probably stood the test of time and all that. But I was just like, yeah, no. I just read that article. I ain't doing that. So that was good. That was kind of fun. But it was interesting just to walk around, and they had a museum there that you could go in and have a look at. Let's see, what else did they have there? Well, they had the bordello you could go and have a look at, but I looked at the circular stairs going up and I was like, yeah, do I really want to climb those? I don't know. I was just in one of those moods today, though. I just wanted to have a look around. I didn't really want to go exploring, and so, and like going into a museum and paying to go into a museum, paying to go into the bordello, paying to go into the mine and all that sort of stuff. I just sort of felt like, I'm just going to browse today. So I just wandered around, browsed, found some ideas for Christmas gifts and that, and then went back to those stores after I'd had lunch and gone down the other side of the street. And I will tell you this, walking into the Mercantile is really, really bad, because the second you walk in, you get this amazing fudge smell, and it's over there to the right. So I went straight ahead. And then I got over there and somebody said, oh, we'll have some of that sugar. We'll have those. Yeah, let's do the sugar-free clusters right there. And I'm like, sugar-free? Oh, it's milk chocolate, not dark. And I'm like looking through the case. Nope, that was the only sugar-free thing in there. I was like, nope. I was bad. I had my couple of bites of a burger or a couple of bites of a bun on a burger, and I had some fries with it. And I thought, I've done my bad stuff for the day, so I'm getting out of here. So I went off, did all my shopping and stuff, and got in the car and drove back, and went and did my laundry. Now, I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe you can help me. So I took all my laundry over there. First of all, I went via the office to pick up a roll of quarters, because last time I was here, we had to use quarters, and it cost you $1.25 to do a wash, and then 50 cents for an hour in the dryer. I thought, cheapest place I've come across to do laundry. And so I went up to the office to get quarters. The office is closed, but they had the activities people there that could help you. And I said, I'm after some, and they said, oh, can we help with anything? I said, well, I'm actually after a roll of quarters to do the laundry. And she says, oh, we don't use quarters anymore. I'm like, what? She says, oh no, we've changed it. You've now got to download this app. And I'm like, I'm in a place that's 55 plus, and they're expecting some of these people to download an app to pay for their laundry. I thought, this is going to be interesting. So I went over. You can actually swipe your credit card as well if you want to do it that way. And while I'm sitting there, I get my laundry done, and there's this huge laundry room. And I had to stay away from the other side, because on the other side, in this folding bench that they had there, somebody had started a jigsaw puzzle and just kind of left it as like a community thing for people to come and do. And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to sit down and do that, because if I do, my laundry is not going to get done. It'll just sit in the dryer until I'm done with the puzzle. It was a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I'm one of those that can't leave a puzzle undone. So I went and sat over the other side where I couldn't see it. And so I got my laundry in there and downloaded the app, put the money on the app and all that, so I could. And when you actually downloaded the app, it gave you $3.25, which was not enough for 2 loads. It was only enough for 1 load, because it was $1.75 to do a wash, and it was $1.50 to do a so $1.75 for a wash, and then $1.50 for 48 minutes in the dryers. And apparently these are all new machines as well that they've brought in. So apparently they've done the whole campground and all of that with these new machines and all this new payment stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading my book, and nobody else is in the place, and just enjoying reading Red Metal. And this woman comes in, and she's like looking at these machines, and she looks at it and she goes, do these not take quarters? And I went, no. I said, they've just switched them all over. I said, I just found out tonight they've switched them all over. And she's like, well, how am I supposed to pay for my laundry? And I said, well, you can either download an app on your phone, or you can use a credit card. And she says, well, download an app. She says, I don't have a phone that can do that. And that's when it suddenly hit me that you're in a park which is 55 plus. You've got a lot of people in there that don't have smartphones. Some of them just have like the flip phones that have the big buttons on them, so they can easily read them and that sort of thing. They don't have smartphones. So I'm like, well, how the hell are they going to get in? So it's sort of like, no, we're going to have to swipe your credit card. And she says, you mean to say I've got to put my credit card through this machine here every time I want to do a load? I went, yep. And she says, and it's going to charge me $1.75 every time I swipe my card. I went, yep. She's like, oh, she said, I don't like using my credit card when I'm down here. So she's one of the snowbirds. She says, I don't like using my credit card when I'm down here. She says, I like to use quarters. And I said, well, I'm sure you could probably maybe find a laundromat off-site that would where you could use your quarters. And she was going on and on and on about this credit card. And she actually has a friend back home where she's from who opens her mail for her and pays her bills while she's down here in Arizona. And she says, what's she going to think when she opens up my credit card statement and here's a $175, $175, $175, $175, all these $175 charges? She's going to be calling me up and going, what's going on? And so it was quite interesting talking with somebody. And you know, she was probably in her 60s, but then later on, just as my drying was just about to finish, this younger woman comes in with this older woman, and the younger woman had no clue what to do with laundry. And it turned out she was a friend of the older woman. And so the older woman's trying to figure out how to download this app. to start with. And so she's up there on the board and following the directions and all that. And then she gets the part where she puts credit card. And she says, oh, I have to put my credit card in here. She says, I don't have that with me. Oh, I don't. And the other girl didn't even offer to pay for it because she's staying with this woman. And I thought, well, if I was staying, I'd say, look, just put on my credit card for now and we'll deal with it later. But no, didn't even offer that because she was, and then because this other woman leans over and she's reading the instructions on the lid of the washing machine. And then she starts taking all the laundry out. And I'm like, what on earth is she doing? So I'm just like, just sitting there, minding my own business, reading a book, and just keeping an eye on what's going on. It's interesting. And then she turns around and says, oh, this here says that you're supposed to put the laundry powder in first. And I looked, and this woman looked and goes, what? I said, oh, just so you know, I've never done that. I said, I put the laundry in, I throw the laundry thing in on top. It's good. It's fine. It'll work. And she's like, really? But it says here you do it first. I says, no. I said, don't worry about it. And she's like, and the other woman says, yeah, I've never put the laundry powder in first. And I'm like, does this younger woman never do laundry? I'm like, does she not do laundry and not know this? Because then she's trying to figure out how to load the machines and stuff, which was, I mean, she's doing all of this while this other woman's trying to figure out, while the older woman's trying to figure out how to download an app. Then she's got to put a credit card number in. Well, she doesn't have a credit card with her, so she's got to get in a golf cart and go all the way back to her place to get her credit card, to put it in here so that she can activate the app to activate the machines. I was like, oh my gosh, these poor people, they're going to have all these seniors who are going to be in there trying to figure out who have not been here, because they're all starting to arrive. I've been driving around the campground. Last time when I was here and I did a walking video, there was a lot of empty space. Well, now there's not very many empty spaces. So everybody's starting to arrive and starting to come in, and now they're going to be going to the laundry and, and they're going to be there with their bags of quarters like these women were. And we now have to download an app. So I thought that was kind of interesting that a 55 plus community has gone and done something like that without thinking about those who may not have the phones for it, don't want to use their credit cards. They just want to use their quarters. They're coming down with their bags of quarters because they've been saving them up for the last 6 months. So that was kind of fun. So I did that, came back, had some dinner, and I'm in the middle of watching Diamonds Are Forever, and Sean Connery is back. Although for the first for the pre-opening scene, you just hear his voice and you see his hands in that as he's trying to find out where Blofeld is, and he's roughing up some people to find out. So you just see the action, you see up to about here, you don't see this part. So that was kind of an interesting way to show that he was back. I thought that was kind of cool. And you didn't see until somebody asked him, who are you? And then it goes full front and you see his face and everything, and goes Bond, James Bond, in his Scottish accent. So I'm busy watching that, almost at the end of it already. So, it's been a very busy day, and my travel prep is basically, I just got to do my dishes from dinner, because sometimes I will sit here, eat dinner, and watch my movie. And but that's basically it. I'm ready to go. Tomorrow I am off to River Breeze, so I'm going back to Ehrenberg, which is at exit 1 on the I-10, just inside the Arizona-California state lines. So I'll be back there next to the Colorado River for the next 3 nights. After that, who knows? I have no idea where I'm going to be. After that, I'm still working it out. I have a place that I may end up, but like a lot of the places, all the snowbirds have come in, so they're like sold out or have limited availability. Like you can stay a night, but you can't stay any longer. And it's like, I don't want any 1-night stays. I want to be able to stay. I have my reservation on the 21st and down in San Diego, and so I can need somewhere between Tuesday and the 21st. So who knows where I'm going after Ehrenberg. So tomorrow I will be live from Ehrenberg in Arizona, just by the Colorado River. Maybe I'll go do my live from by the Colorado River tomorrow. I don't know. Depends how busy the park is. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to go finish watching this movie, and then I will have time to watch the How It Was Made. Oh, yeah. Fascinated with these How It Was Made thing. I don't know why I've never watched them before. So I'm going to go watch finish watching it's getting up to the big finale. Oh, this one here's got the one where they drop him in the ball into the water. And that reminds me of a story way back when we were in Hawaii back in 2000, and we're going up the mountain to watch the sunset, not the sunrise, the sunset. And we're going up there, and Chris, Brad's middle son, starts this discussion. He's got the most amazing imagination ever. And he turns around and says, if you were inside one of those big balls and you dropped out of a plane, would you survive? And everybody's like, what? And so then his two brothers, his dad, are all coming up with reasons why it wouldn't work or anything else like that. So when Diamonds Were Forever was actually on, after that conversation had happened and all that, he happened to be there, and I paused the movie and said, Chris, come quick. And I wound it back a little bit. He goes, what? And I said, you remember that conversation that you were having with your brothers and your dad about dropping out of a plane in a ball? He goes, yes, watch this. And he was able to watch James Bond in this ball out of a plane. Yeah, they had the parachutes that came down. He got in the water and he moved it over to the oil rig and said he was from the Acme Environmental something or other. And he was there doing all these checks and whatnot. So he got to see that, yes, it is possible. It happened on a James Bond movie. It's possible. So anyway, that's it from me from Mesa, Arizona. I am signing off from Mesa. Tomorrow I will talk to you from Ehrenberg. And so until then, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And our adventure continues tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Hei konera.